You are losing power right now, and you probably don't even notice it. Every time you rush to explain yourself, every time you argue to prove your point, every time you reveal exactly what you think, someone is quietly learning how to control you. The world trains you to believe that speaking more means you are stronger. Speak up, defend yourself, share your thoughts, prove your intelligence. But intelligent people eventually discover something darker about human nature. The more you speak, the more predictable you become. And the moment people can predict you, they can manipulate you. Think about the last time you argued with someone. You explained your logic clearly. You revealed your perspective. You showed them exactly how you think. And what happened? Instead of understanding you, they used your own words against you. They twisted them, challenged them, and attacked the weak points in your reasoning. In that moment, you unknowingly handed them the map to your mind. Intelligent people eventually realize this mistake. And when they do, their strategy begins to change. They stop revealing everything. They stop reacting immediately. They stop explaining themselves to people who are not even trying to understand them. Because silence does something very strange to the human mind. Silence makes people uncomfortable. When someone talks constantly, you know exactly where they stand. You know what they believe. You know what they want. But when someone stays calm and says very little, your mind begins searching for answers. You begin wondering what they are thinking. You begin wondering what they know that you don't. You begin wondering whether they are observing something you completely missed. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. That is why many of the most intelligent individuals in history spoke far less than everyone around them. While others rushed to dominate conversations, they simply watched. They listened carefully. They studied reactions, emotions, and patterns in people's behavior. Because the truth is, people reveal far more about themselves than they ever realize. When someone speaks too much, they expose their fears, their desires, their weaknesses, and their intentions. And the silent observer sees everything. While everyone else is trying desperately to be heard, the intelligent person is quietly learning. Learning who can be trusted. Learning who is pretending. Learning who is dangerous. And learning who is easy to influence. Silence becomes a shield. A shield that protects your thoughts, protects your intentions, and protects your future. Because the moment you reveal everything about yourself, you lose leverage, and leverage is power. The intelligent mind understands this instinctively. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, not everyone deserves your explanations, and not everyone deserves to know your plans. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make in a conversation is simply saying nothing at all, because silence forces people to reveal themselves, and once people reveal themselves, you finally see who they truly are. There is a reason intelligent people learn to stay silent, and it is not because they are shy or unsure of themselves. It is because they understand how human psychology truly works. Most people are deeply uncomfortable with silence. The moment a conversation becomes quiet, something strange begins happening inside the human mind. People feel pressure to fill the silence, pressure to speak, pressure to explain themselves. And in that pressure, people begin revealing far more than they originally intended. This is where the silent observer gains an advantage. While the other person is talking, explaining, and filling the empty space with words, the intelligent mind is simply watching and listening. They are studying tone, studying facial expressions, studying hesitation, and noticing the small emotional signals hidden between sentences. Most people believe intelligence is about speaking well, about having clever arguments and strong opinions. But real intelligence often appears in the ability to listen without interruption. To listen not only to what people say, but to what they avoid saying. To notice when someone's voice changes slightly, when their confidence disappears for a moment, or when their words don't match their behavior. In just a few minutes of careful observation, you can learn more about a person than you could learn from hours of conversation. Because when people feel comfortable speaking freely, they slowly expose themselves. They reveal their insecurities. They reveal their ambitions. They reveal their fears and their motivations. And once you understand someone's fears and desires, you begin understanding their decisions. Strategic silence works because it removes pressure from you and places it entirely on the other person. Instead of defending yourself, you are observing them. Instead of revealing your intentions, you are quietly discovering theirs. And something fascinating begins to happen when you speak less. People begin projecting their own assumptions onto you. When you say very little, others start filling the silence with their imagination. Some people will assume you are extremely confident. Others will assume you are calculating. Some will believe you know something they don't. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their own thoughts and insecurities, and this uncertainty changes how people treat you. The less they understand about you, the more cautious they become. The more cautious they become, the more respect they show. Not because you demanded respect, but because your silence created presence. This is why powerful individuals rarely rush to defend themselves or explain every decision they make. They understand that over-explaining weakens authority. Instead, they remain calm and allow silence to exist naturally in conversations. They let others speak first, reveal themselves first, and expose their intentions first. Then, when they finally choose to speak, their words carry far more weight than the words of someone who talks constantly. Silence gives words power. Without silence, words become noise. But when someone who rarely speaks finally says something important, the entire room becomes quiet and suddenly everyone is listening. Once you understand the power of silence, your entire approach to communication begins to change. You stop feeling the need to explain yourself to everyone you meet. You stop reacting instantly to criticism, and you stop revealing every thought that crosses your mind. Instead, you begin observing the world differently. You start noticing how much information people reveal when they are trying to impress others. You notice how quickly people expose their emotions when they feel challenged or threatened. You begin seeing patterns in conversations that most people never recognize. Slowly, something powerful starts happening inside you. You gain control. Silence creates space, and that space gives you the ability to think clearly before responding. It allows you to analyze situations instead of reacting emotionally. When someone insults you, silence prevents you from reacting impulsively. When someone tries to provoke you, silence denies them the reaction they were hoping to get. When someone begins talking too much about themselves, silence allows you to continue learning more about them. Over time, people begin seeing you differently. They start viewing you as calm, composed, and difficult to read. And that uncertainty creates a quiet form of authority. People naturally respect those who appear to have control over their emotions. Emotional reactions make a person predictable, but calm silence makes someone powerful. This does not mean you should never speak. Silence is not weakness, and it is not avoidance. Silence is precision. You speak when your words actually matter. You speak when your message will create impact. You speak when the moment is right and when silence has already done most of the work for you. Because when someone who rarely speaks finally says something meaningful, the room becomes quiet almost instantly. People pay attention. Your words suddenly carry influence because they are rare and deliberate. The intelligent person understands that communication is not about talking more than everyone else. It is about timing. The right words delivered at the right moment with complete control over emotion and intention. Silence becomes preparation, and speech becomes the final move. When you combine both, something changes in how people perceive you. You become someone who cannot be easily manipulated, someone who cannot be easily predicted, someone people begin watching carefully, not because you demanded their attention, but because your presence quietly commands it. So the next time you feel the urge to immediately explain yourself to someone, pause for a moment, observe the situation, listen carefully, and ask yourself one simple question. Does this person truly deserve access to my thoughts? Because the truth is simple. Not everyone deserves to know what you are thinking. And sometimes the most powerful statement you can make in any conversation is silence.